Brandon Jones. What's up, dude?
Not much, man. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Introduce yourself. I mean, I obviously just introduced yourself by name, but tell us who you are and what you do.
Not a problem. My name is Brandon Jones. I'm the Vice President of Limitless Leadership, and we are a coaching company in particular and training company for the automotive repair industry.
And you came out of nowhere, right? I'd never heard of you, never seen anything about it. What, where did it come from? How did this all happen?
I like to say it didn't come out of nowhere, but yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's an insult. It's like he hasn't been working and grinding, and
I didn't say that.
you implied it.
No, yeah. I did not. I'm saying I had never heard of them, and then all of a sudden they're everywhere.
I don't know you, so I'm just gonna give you a heads up. This is the last recording of the day, and Lucas gets incoherent and pissy.
Yep,
so okay. I was like that already. So, I mean, I don't think I got this way. I think I was that way.
It gets worse on the last one.
That's probably true. I could see that.
Anyway, Limitless Leadership.
But yeah, we did kind of come out of nowhere, I guess you could say. So me and my business partner, Josh Parnell, we kind of have a different perspective when it comes to coaching in this space. So we're both former folks from Christian Brothers Automotive.
Yeah.
We both worked on the training department there and created a lot of the stuff that they do to this day.
Right.
So to say we came out of nowhere, yeah, we did kind of, but we've been both been in the industry for a long time.
Right. So give us a rundown of how we got here. Give us a rundown of what made you want to start this and what's different about it.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, Josh started with just leadership coaching. Okay. And he was doing, just wasn't business, industry specific. He was taking this to a lot of different industries. When I came on board, we kind of just evaluated things. And I've only been on board 3 months now. So we're brand new. And we shifted focus on the company to obviously what I'm passionate about, and that's automotive.
Right.
And there's such a great need for just not only coaching and training, but we're both very passionate about getting people to level up, get them to the level that they want to get to. And how we go about doing that is, we do a lot of coaching, one-on-one coaching. And what that looks like is he focuses 1 week on leadership. So if you signed up for our coaching programs, you'd have four calls, one per week. He's going to focus on the leadership skills, the leadership aspect of it. I'm going to focus on what we call performance, which is a lot of people think it's just metric based, and it's not. We focus on workflow, operations, sales, all of those things that encompass. But we're really gearing this towards service managers.
Okay,
that's kind of what we like to focus on. We can absolutely speak to P&Ls and how to influence and how to grow that stuff. I'm a former shop owner myself.
Okay.
I saw the light, and I'm a big fan of the podcast, David. So I hear lots of great things about the shops. So,
and Josh was really taking more of a, as you mentioned, a leadership, but a personal coach and let's develop you as a human being type approach on that. And that's unique to this. I mean, the other coaches do it as well, but the focus has always been on just business. Where did Josh come from? And tell us a little bit about him, because and he's going to be on the show soon, right?
Yeah.
I talked to him about coming on and talking. What's different about this, you think?
Well, I think we're focusing on creating a very well-rounded team member at the end of it, because we all know when the leader gets better, everyone else gets better. Right. And we focus not only on in-depth industry-specific skills, that's the part that I work on, but Josh is working on leadership skills. And what's really neat about that is we've gotten feedback from some of the clients that he's worked for prior, that we both worked for together, that said, this has not only helped me be the best version of myself during my 9 to 5 or shop life. It's really 14-hour days,
Right.
But they said when I take this home, I apply this to my family, And this has saved my marriage. Like, we've gotten that a couple times, which is just, from somebody, from just a human being perspective, that's powerful.
That's huge, dude. That's huge. So tell us a little bit about your history. Shop owner.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well, so I'm an industry guy. I started off in the parts stores, worked my way to field sales leadership, worked for NGK Spark Plugs, Snap-on, and some of the leading industry guys in that industry. Okay. And I'll be completely honest, like I was in and out of shops 10 plus a day, from my days early in the parts side of it to the aftermarket parts and then the OE parts, and I saw the same things in shops every single day. And one of the story that I always like to tell, it's actually from Kansas City. I was in a shop in Kansas City, and I'm waiting my turn to go up to the front counter. This lady is right at the front counter doing her thing, with the service team up there, and the lady comes, leaves. I go up, do my thing, do my training and then I walk out that door. About 30 minutes later, she's sitting on that park bench right outside the shop, and she is just upset. She's crying her eyes out and just visibly upset. And I don't know what it was, but I just went up to the next door and said, everything all right? And she goes on to tell me that she came in for a simple oil change, and they gave her a bill for like $4,000. And, I think that's something that we see on our end, from a shop perspective all the time. But I don't think we realize sometimes how that makes other people feel. Yeah. That weight of that, because they came in expecting, let's just say $70, $80 for an oil change, and we turned around and gave them an estimate for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And
should we feel bad about that, or were they trapped in a world of delusion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're on the right path.
Burst that bubble, just because you can present it and go, "Hey, it looks like you think cars don't degrade every second that they exist, and they do. Anyway, you need $5,000 worth of work on your ship box. Sorry."
Yeah. And she might have gotten to that point and might have been like, okay, let's do it. But nobody explained that to her. They just said, here's what it is. This is what you need. Peace.
Right.
Are you going to do it? Yes or no? And it's like, where's the education? Where's the explanation?
Where's the compassion?
100% compassion. And anyways,
compassion. I got your compassion for you, buddy.
That's the smallest compassion I've ever seen. Doesn't even count as a compassion.
It has its fans.
You can take the S off the end of that. You did say it was the end of the day. You heard that, right? So you ended up in a shop, right? Yep. You ended up owning a shop. How did that work?
Yeah. So, just to finish that story real quick is, all I did was explain the RO to her. I haven't touched the vehicle. I haven't seen the vehicle. Right. All I did was just educate her on what everything was and what it did. And a visible weight
did
was
it start
lifted.
with, see, man, what the problem is, this is a 2009 Chevy Traverse. I can circle your problem right here in that it's a 2009 Chevy Traverse. Now, what happens with 2009 Chevy Traverses is everything you've got listed here, plus another $7,000 or $8,000 that they haven't found yet or has yet to break. Anyway.
Yeah. If I recall, it was a Ford Excursion, the one with the 5.4 in it, the nice Triton engines. So I believe there was some spark plug issues. Man, you're testing my knowledge. I feel like it was like late 2000-ish, somewhere in that neck of the woods.
I don't know. You get to a certain point where I had this gal come in. I think she was driving, she bought a Suburban, a 2007 Suburban. And she had $5,000. And she had $5,000 and she needed a big vehicle. And she saw a 2007 Suburban for $5,000. Now, what kind of vehicle do you think she got? $5,000.
Not a good one.
2007 Suburban.
Very reliable one.
Yeah.
And what I told her was, this vehicle needs like $12,000 worth of work. And she's like, she got upset. Oh, we went through the whole dog and pony show. This needs this. And we did the DVI thing. We did everything. And she's like, are you saying I bought a piece of shit? And I said, well, you bought a 2007 Suburban for $5,000. That is a $15,000 truck. She's like, well, I see them online all the time for $5,000. I said, I'm sure you do. But they are in the condition that your $5,000 2007 Suburban is in. If you want one that's nice, it's $15,000. I don't have $15,000. I'm sorry. Anyway, what do you want to do? I'm just going to take this vehicle somewhere else. Okay. Here's your keys. Goodbye.
Yeah.
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 That did not lead me to go, oh, she got dad voiced by the end because she was acting a fool in my shop. Like, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you the condition of the vehicle. That's what you wanted me to do. I told you the condition of the vehicle. It's a piece of shit. And then I explained to you your mistake. Your mistake was you paid $5,000 for a vehicle that's worth $15,000. You thought you were buying a $15,000 vehicle for $5,000. That does not exist. That's like saying, hey, I got this Easter bunny and it craps out golden nuggets. No. Those are just turds. No. They're made out of gold. That doesn't exist. It's impossible. No, for real. I saw it online. Like, don't say stupid stuff at me.
YouTube
told
me.
What's that?
YouTube told me.
I don't think she'd been on YouTube. Somebody at some point in the algorithm would have popped and said, hey, don't buy $5,000 2007 Suburbans because they are junk piles. They are terrible vehicles. Everything's wrong with them. The reason why they're selling it for $5,000 is because if they go scrap it, all of the scrap metal put together is worth $5,000.
No, it's not.
They can part it out for $5,000. They can part it out piece by piece for $5,000 and eventually make the $7,000 or the $5,000. Yep. Like door panel, fender, wheels.
So back to the shop owner story.
It's a lot of work for $5,000.
I know it is, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only way you're going to get $5,000 out of the vehicle. Or they find the single mom that just got the check from the government, because that's what the situation was. I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying this was a younger girl with a couple of kids, needed a vehicle to cart the kids around and the cousins and all that piled up into the Suburban. And she had $5,000 and she spent every flipping dime of that $5,000, not on a vehicle and then some repairs and maintenance. Because that's what I would have told her to do. Go buy a $1,000 vehicle and dump $4,000 into it. And you'll have a nice vehicle.
So it's funny you bring that up. You're talking about the waiting on the government check, right? I'm going to tell you something. I was talking to Derek, one of my friends the other day, the one that bought the shop that I was telling the story about, like, hey, he won this much for it. And I said, I went and looked at it. It wasn't whatever.
Okay.
And so we were talking about the fact that there is like a string of people in our community that goes church to church to church and charity to charity to charity saying, oh, I need help with my vehicle. And they just go from all of these churches to churches to churches begging somebody to pay to either fix their vehicle or, and here's the thing, is the problem's never solved. They always end up going to somebody else to need more money to fix the vehicle again. And I've got one in particular I'm thinking of, and a real sweet human being, but it's all about like, and they had a 90-year-old lover, right? And
what?
The 90-year-old lover was always paying to fix the car.
There's no loving at 90 years old. At 9 years old, you're just waiting to die.
I'm just telling you that's how she phrased this person, how she
This is my 90-year-old lover?
This is my 90-year-old lover. He's not from here. He's from another state. And he calls and pays the bill. Or he pays the bill online. Or he transfers the money into my account. And it was a very unusual situation because what it turned into was he begins to question all the repairs on her vehicle, and it's like, well, we've been telling her for years this thing is like junk. I understand it has sentimental value, but how far do you want me to go? I mean, we're $55,000 in this old like G-van, and I'm like, I've got repair orders from 8 years ago saying, hey, this thing is not something that we should be trying to keep on the road. It's kind of worn out. And so lo and behold, dude shows up crying her eyes out. He died. I don't know what I'm going to do. 2 days later, shows up to get her car fixed and says that I've sold my 84-year-old lover New Arc and he's transferring the money into my account so I can fix my car. And I'm like,
just going to nursing homes or what's going on here?
Hold up. Well, like, seriously, I'm thinking about this. How does this work? How is it that he dies, you're upset because you don't know where you're going to get money to survive. And so 2 days later, 2 days? Dude, it's not even in the ground yet.
That's because there was probably a backup or two. There's probably another one right behind them.
Do people act like it? That's like
old men get lonely, dude.
I understand, but I'm saying, is that not the same as like the vagrants on the street? Is that?
She has to work for that. Kudos to her.
She's got to do something for it.
You're telling me if you had a sugar mama, you would just.
What's that? No. What?
If you needed money and
I don't think I'll ever put myself in that particular situation. I'm perfectly okay going to go bag groceries at a grocery store.
You'd bag groceries before finding a sugar mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. I that's my logic. I couldn't imagine
doing what she did.
Yeah, I don't have the looks or any of the traits that would make me valuable at all.
There's a reel that goes around. It was one reel. The guy shot it, and it's this like older lady. She's probably, I don't know, late 60s, early 70s, in like this really tight black dress, like tons of makeup on, just like grooving to music, and the caption is the guy's like dancing, like filming her dancing, and he's like like hanging out with the old lady because she's got this like mint C10 square body, just waiting for the opportunity to get that inheritance. He's paying his dues.
I'm gonna be in.
He's like filming the old lady.
I'm gonna be entirely vile. There's an older woman who owns restaurants near us, and she would come in and she would flirt with the young men in the restaurant as they were eating, right? And that was like the whole thing. And I'll never forget, she came in one time and she told my dad that he needed to knock the scabs off of it for her or something like that. And we're all sitting there and I'm like, whoa, hold up now. The cobwebs maybe, but the scabs.
We're not even an hour in. You got to wait till the last hour to tell those stories. What is wrong with you?
Just telling you. We kind of got on the subject. Poor dude has not even been able to tell us how he started a shop yet.
I love this podcast. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Do you want me to not tell it? You want me to go back? You can go back in time and take it back? I don't know.
Yes, take it back.
I'll introduce you next time you're out.
So you're trying to help out the single mom who's crying on the single bench.
Whoa, we're not going that direction. Nobody said anything about the casting couch.
Well, I didn't go there.
I thought that's where you were going. I'm sorry.
No, he was just trying to help out the single mom. She was crying on the bench.
Yeah. So
did she at some point say, "I'm just a single mom"?
She did not. And like part of the
had she
story
been a single mom, that would have been the first thing that popped out of her mouth.
You're trying to make me spit my drink on another guest.
You've heard the song, right?
No, I've not heard the song.
Now you're a single mom? Oh, I'll play it for you. It's inappropriate for the podcast. We're trying to keep this professional. This is a business podcast. We have sponsors we have to consider. Sponsors.
I don't know if you know this. Cecil is my business coach.
Yeah.
And he just shakes his head at me.
He doesn't listen to the podcast. That's the thing.
Thank God.
Kent does. Maybe sometimes. I think we slip a few by him. He doesn't know. He doesn't need to know. Nobody tell him. Anyway.
What were we talking about again?
I believe I was on the park bench with this lady in a professional manner, though.
It was purely a professional relationship.
Yes.
Bill Clinton said that once.
Yep. Monica.
Close, but no cigar.
But, you know, trying, man.
Half of our listeners are too young to understand the reference. It'll be fun.
That's an old reference. That's for old people. Sorry.
Going back to how I got my shop, all I did was explain the repair order to this lady, and she goes out and tells me that, you know, her husband is actually overseas, you know, fighting for our country, and he's the one that normally handles this. And it was a good reminder because it just let me know that, hey, we can't control anything outside of our box, you know, outside of our four walls, and you know, we had no idea what this lady was up against, and it had the shop and just probably explained all this to her, it would have saved her a whole lot of heartache, you know?
Yeah.
At the root of everything, it was a communication breakdown. So, I'd like to say that because that is something I saw daily going into, you know, 10, 15 plus shops a day. And it was the same thing over and over again. So I just got to the point and I was like, hey, you know, I can do this. I can do this better. And you know, I come from a technical background. My dad was a dealership mechanic, so I grew up in the industry. I grew up in the dealership world, and my dad always swore at me like, "You are not getting into this industry. It is awful." And you know, it just, you know, the whole 9 yards. You know, like it broke his body down. But the industry in the 90s is not the same industry as it is today, and it's a lot more technology based. But anyway, so fast forward. So I opened my own shop. We're doing pretty good. We opened it just outside of Chicago, and COVID comes along, January 2020.
Oh man!
So I bought my second shop, January 1st, 2020.
Holy cow!
And a few months into that, we very quickly realized that 2 shops and not a lot of cash because, you know, we just spent all of our cash was not a good solution, not knowing where this pandemic was going to go. Yeah. So we ended up closing the one shop, merging it together, and we made it through. But you know, it really cost us a lot. And at the end of 2021, me and my wife at the time, we just decided that it was time to go south. And we got out of the shop, went south, and that's where I linked up with Christian Brothers. And then now I'm doing my own thing with Josh, and man, it's been great. It's been really great.
Tell us about the Christian Brothers experience. I've got a guy who I message back and forth with some, and I want to say his name is Pete Coleman, if I remember right.
I know Pete.
Yeah, and so he was big with that organization and big into their training group and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And he's always had really positive things to say. I know David is not exactly a Christian Brothers fan, but you know how did you end up at Christian Brothers, and what was your perspective of that organization?
Yeah. So Pete Coleman, great guy. Shout out to Pete.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's in Central Iowa, just killing it out there.
Absolutely. So, like one of their top service advisors or service managers.
He was running a couple shops out there for him, and I know he's since left Christian Brothers, and
oh really?
He's doing some other stuff for another conglomerate out there.
Right.
But yeah, great guy. And Christian Brothers as a whole organization, Christian-based, faith-based, great company.
Right.
You know, they gave me an opportunity to really go in there and shine, do my thing, and it was great. And you know, it's funny. So the story of how I met my business partner Josh, it aligns very much with how I came to Christian Brothers. So I was selling parts in Louisiana, running a group of stores and that, and we took all of our that field leadership team to a leadership conference in Houston. The only other company that was there from the automotive industry was Christian Brothers Automotive.
Really?
And that's how I met Josh. And we both just started talking, and I be honest, I wasn't looking for a job. I was very happy, very comfortable doing what I was doing. And he goes, I got this opportunity I think you'd be really good for. And next thing I know, a couple of months later, I'm packing everything up and we're moving to Houston, Texas. And it was great. They let me do their thing, and yeah, it was great. Yeah, I got to make an impact on 300 plus shops, pretty close to 1,000 frontline service employees. Yeah, it was great. It aligned very much so with what I think is good business practice.
Right. And so what kind of caused the leave from Christian Brothers? Where that next part of the journey? How did we get there?
So I wanted to always go back into business for myself because I'm a crazy person like that, Just like I always say, I'm going to own another shop because I'm a crazy person like that.
Right.
But me and Josh had been talking, and we kind of reconnected, linked up, and he goes, hey, what would this look like if I took my leadership and we paired it with, kind of your performance and sales stuff, and we brought this to the industry? And I said, well, Josh, that would be something I don't think the industry's really seen before, as far as pairing those two models together. And I go, I think we could really be a disruptor. And I love disrupting things, and I love positively impacting an industry, and that's always been my mission for this. Is to positively impact the automotive industry. And I love what we're doing now because we're focused on coaching, training, and really driving the industry forward. And, like I said earlier, we're really looking to get people to level up, to get them where they really want to go. Yeah. And that's why we love focusing and working with service managers and high-performing service advisors, because we want to give the shop owners the gift of time and money. And if you can have somebody, your right-hand person, really get poured into as far as they can run everything, and you can kind of take a step back and just truly be a business owner, I think that's a lot of folks, that's their dream. That's that's the model they want to go towards.
What do you think the key things keeping them from being able to accomplish that are?
Well, it's hard to, you go from working on the business to from working in the business to working on the business. It's a different mentality. I think a lot of times delegation is a key component because they don't trust anybody else to do the job. And it's a lot easier to do something when you can do it better than that person that you are telling to do it.
Yeah.
But in order for growth to happen, you have to empower them and let them do that.
That's my biggest weakness as a shop owner, is needing to meddle and needing to be in the middle of it. And I prefer to just do it myself, right?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's problem, and that's something that we always need to be constantly working on. I can tell you, as a shop owner, I was probably an awful person to work for.
I am a terrible person to work for. There's no doubt about that.
I meant
is
really
this like
well,
a story arc? Like, we started the day with him going, I'm not terrible to work for. And now we're like, man, I'm terrible.
I'm not nearly as bad as you, but I'm still pretty terrible to work for.
Wonderful to work for.
I've seen the videos.
What videos?
Uh-oh.
The ones your employees share. We have a secret chat group you just don't know about.
That I believe. That I 100% believe.
What?
Nothing.
David doesn't believe in leadership.
No?
David doesn't believe in coaching.
No, that's not true. I think you have to have something pushing you, driving you. The shop is miserable, so I don't know why I would want to put my time and effort and energy into that. It sucks the life out of you.
I'd push back a little on you there, David. And I know we just met each other, so let's get uncomfortable, or let's get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? All right. Okay.
I'll look this way.
But is that you driving the culture, or is that letting the culture influence you? Are you influencing the culture, or the culture influencing you?
The cars. I'm sorry. If you end up with shaky cam, that's I apologize. That is the cars influencing me. Yeah. The cars do not want to be fixed. I mean, you try. but then they don't fix. And then something happens. You feel bad. I don't like feeling bad all the time. So that's what it is. Like, I want the car to be fixed and perfect. And
Sure.
drive away and that customer be super happy. That's what I want. That. Instead, they drive away and 6 months later, the axle blows out. A Ram. I've never seen an axle go out on a Ram before. Not after we fix it. You know, they have that differential problem with the stubs. They explode. Okay, great. So we put new stubs in, put a new axle, the HD ones, big fat ones, right? And send it on its way. Comes back on a tow truck 7 months later, 8 months later. Axle blew out. And I'm asking Ivan, I'm like, what do you mean the axle blew out? The hell does that mean the axle's broken? I've never seen that. Now, hopefully I get back and she's older. She ran over something. There's maybe hair or something like all caught up in the axle, and it's very obvious that Fido got sucked up into the axle, and that's what happened.
Why'd it have to take such a grim turn?
I'm just saying, I want to see some death in there. Something very obvious that I can go, yep, that's what happened. And then I'll feel great. But in the meantime, until I get back, this is eating me up. How do you get over that?
Can you? I mean, we talking about Fido or the axle?
Both? Not my Fido, so it's whatever. I mean, you feel bad for him because it's an innocent animal, but whatever. Maybe he bit a child or something before that. I'm saying, like, I wanted that car to be fixed. Mm-hmm. Now, we torqued everything to spec. We used quality parts. Never had a problem with any of these components before. I had a good, competent technician do the work. What else can I do?
I don't know that there is anything else you can do at that
Okay,
point.
so how can I be okay with that and just be like, oh, you know what? I want more of this. I'm going to go open a second shop. I want twice as many problems coming back.
Yeah, I don't have a solution for you.
I thought you were the coach. What happened?
Hey, we just took $11,000 worth of payments. That
I'd feel better if I had $11,000 in payments today. I think we did $110 in payments today. You know what I'm really worried about? It's not that I hired a second person, and jury's still out. Also, this is going to be like published, I don't know, 3 months from now. So
and he's
either
fired
still
on Monday.
working there, or I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he did a fantastic job. What I'm worried about is that over 2 days, I should be seeing a stream of new appointments coming in.
It's hard to answer the phone if you're sleeping.
And so I have not seen any appointments coming in. And so we're going to show up Monday morning with no appointments, no cars, nothing. Now, like, the schedule will fill up. Normally it does. But I don't know what the hell he's been doing. The phone's barely rang. I will say that. The phone is barely ring because it goes to my thing and it buzzes me. Now, I don't answer. I'm here. Normally I'll turn it off, but he's there by himself and, just in case. So I just let it go. The phone's barely been ringing. Probably a third of the phone calls that we normally get, but I don't know. It's probably Juan scared him off. Like, hey, don't call Thursday or Friday. It's going to be bad. My shop manager, he was worried about the whole situation. He's like,
Gotcha.
Hey, we should close. And I said, nah, it'll be fine. And he's like, we should close.
Listen,
I said, nah.
If I'm going to trust somebody's intuition, it's going to be Juan's over yours.
Okay, but he's not paying the bill for being closed for 2 days.
I understand that, but I'm just telling you, like,
But
your
honestly,
intuition usually gets me in trouble.
The fact that we were open, and we'll see what we end up collecting today, those 2 days worth of business was not worth me being open. Like, I should have just closed.
So you probably should have trusted Juan's intuition.
I think I left the shop open with the hope that we would end up, okay. I don't know. I don't know what goes on down there. I'm not there. I'm just telling you.
He wonders why the shop stresses him out.
The shop does not stress me out. I have fantastic employees. Not the new guy. as a person, love the crap out of him. That's why I hired him. Fantastic person. He's funny. He's personable. He's friendly. He tells jokes. He can take a joke. That's a big thing for me. You got to be able to take a joke. If you can't take a joke, we can't get along. So he was cool. I've got fantastic employees. Fantastic employees. Love them to death. Every single one of them. Even the one that shows up late. Love him to death too. He's cute. That's why I was like, everybody. So, I mean, this is a side tangent. Sorry. He's late. And Juan's like, dude, you need to yell at him. Because he didn't listen to me. I'm telling you, you need to yell at him. And I'm like, he's like, and he looks at me and he goes, you're not going to yell at him, are you? I'm like, I don't, it's, and he's like, as soon as he walks in, he's going to be like, hey, buddy. And he's going to start pinching his cheeks and stuff, aren't you? And I go, no, I'm not going to do that. No shit, I did it. I didn't even think about it. He walks in late, and I'm like, hey, buddy, how you doing? I start like, and Juan walks by, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, crap. Hey, dude, you can't be late. You can't be late like this. Anyway, love all my employees. It's not the employees. And it's, I can't go work for somebody. I'm a terrible employee. So that's not going to work, right? So it's good that I own my own business.
Sure.
And I have great employees. And, I like the automotive industry and I like shops and all the cars. And it's these junk vehicles. I'm just telling you, like these junk vehicles. There's too many variables. And there's no way to fix that. And I don't know how you people cope. I don't know how you coped. I don't know how you cope. I don't know how you do it.
I don't cope. I just tolerate.
I don't know how you can get over that. I don't know. It still eats me up inside. I don't know how you get over it. I don't know. I need like a pill or a shot or something I can take and go, hey, don't worry about that.
They make that. Go to your doctor, tell him, hey, I would like a prescription for Xanax. And just tell him you want the ladder bars. Eat one of those a day.
Walk around with a smile.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Xanax the fix?
Yeah, that's actually how we go to market. We tell everybody is Xanax is the fix to be in a shop.
It's gonna just mellow everything out.
It is a level. Every single shop owner. I'm not saying this about you. I don't know you. You're almost there. There's a level of callousness. There's a level of callousness of like really ultra successful shop owners. They say they care. But they take the I didn't build it, I didn't buy it, and I didn't break it mentality to cars. I cannot do it. I get that I didn't buy it, I didn't break it, and I didn't build. I get that. I understand that. Logically, that makes sense.
I only say it because I'm like trying to convince myself of that. I still feel it inside.
I didn't say you had that level of callous. I think that's holding you back considerably. You go down there right now, and I'll pull 5 extremely successful shop owners, and I'm telling you, I'll talk back and forth with them, and you're going to see that moment where they admit the callousness. Mm-hmm. They admit it, and they go, "Yep." And they'll never say that. Look, at the end of the day, it's just a paycheck, and I don't really give a crap. They won't say it like that, but that's really what it is. They care. Right up until where it interferes with the vacation house. Or not, hey, if I care too much, I'm not going to get that boat. And I don't want to care that much. I need that boat. I can't cross that line. What do I do?
I wouldn't want you to cross that line. I mean, that's keeping that relationship very personal. I mean,
not with the customer. The customers, I feel bad for the customer. It's just, it's a personal insult to me. Like, I may not even meet these people. I don't think you understand. I never talk to these customers. I don't have the, hey, what's your dog's name? Fido. I don't have any of that. None of that. These are just customers that come in. Juan takes care of them. They have an interaction. They do the DVI. They send it off. They get the estimate. They fix it. 6 months later, I see it on the tow truck. And because that vehicle has left a mark on me, or I just remember it. Not because it was a bad experience. Maybe we got the repair done. Everything went smooth. But I see the name, and then I'm like, what's leaking on that? Oh, something leaking coolant. We did a water pump on that car 6 months ago. I remember stuff like that. I don't know why, but I do. Can't remember names. I'm going to forget your name 5 minutes after you leave. I'm sorry. No insult against you. It's just the way I am. But I'm going to remember that water pump. We put that water pump in there. Tell me that water pump isn't leaking. I don't think so. I still feel bad like it comes back with a coolant leak. It's not the water pump. Our water pump held. And we tell the customers, hey, once we restore pressure, other leaks could happen. Do you understand? Great. Sometimes we put that flipping phone call on the ticket. We put the phone call on the ticket so they can't be like, you didn't tell me. Yeah, we did. We told you. We do everything we're supposed to do. That car's still going. Comes back with a leak. Why? Just stay fixed. Don't you want to do what you do? You drive. That's what you do. They get in you. You drive. Just do that. Instead, you're leaking. Why? I get upset. That bothers me. There's no fixing that. I can't get over that. I don't know why. Am I broken? Is it just me? I'm broken?
There's plenty of reasons I can give you for being broken. Where should I start? I guess I understand. And I'm going to tell you something. I have a very unhealthy relationship with the cameras at the shop. And so I watch them. And like I get an alert about something pulling in. And buddy, if I zoom in, I see that tag, license plate, and I'm like, oh, man, I can read it. I guess I have to search it now. Oh, man, we worked on that car. Right? And next thing you know, I'm looking it up. I will spend the whole weekend fretting over that car. And then I show back up at the shop, and it was something completely different.
Yeah, something benign.
The best one was
assume the worst.
The best one was the one that was like the same kind of truck, but he'd moved the tag from one to the other, and I had it on my old one. I'm like, oh no, not that.
But do you think that has something to do with you guys' names on the building? Like that's your baby. Everything that happens inside those four walls is
for me.
At the end of the day, like it's us, right? You know, it's you guys.
For me, probably because I've so closely tied my self-worth and what, in other words, like for me, I think it's bigger than just a repair shop, right? Because like I take a lot of pride in my parents' reputation and the legacy they've left. And they didn't have a shop, but in our community, everybody knew them. And so I want people to know that I'm doing what's right. And I want people to know I'm taking care of them. Things that bother me is like, I know I'm the most expensive in town. And so I want to make sure I'm providing the value for that. And so like when I don't provide the value for that, that bothers me. Like those are the things that like
you feel like you didn't provide the value. Yeah.
That hurts me deep down in my soul. Like I can't shake that. Yeah. Somebody has bad or negative feedback. I'm getting better at it, but for the longest time, I mean, it would make me physically unwell for a few days.
Look, we have this podcast, right? I love doing the podcast. It's a lot of fun for me. Right. That's what I do most of the day. I don't really work at the shop. I do the podcast stuff. Okay. We have vendors. We have sponsors, right? I want the sponsors to feel, though, like we are over-delivering on what they pay us. Sure. That's what I want to feel like. Okay. And so if we recommend, hey, go sign up with Shop Marketing Pros or go pick up Shop-Ware, and they don't like Shop-Ware or Shop-Ware didn't give them the kind of experience that they wanted or whatever, that bothers me.
Yeah,
that bothers me to no end.
Yeah, same.
And until I find out that the person is plumb crazy or mentally challenged, intellectually challenged, let's call it that way, that they just don't get it and they can't work the program, until we reach that point, which sometimes happens, it bothers me.
Yeah, like, I'll spend hours with somebody trying to resolve.
Yeah, like I want to fix this for you. Because one, I don't want you to think that we're just going around because they pay us to tell you, no, we use the program. Like, we like the program. We wouldn't be saying it if we didn't like it, right? And then two, I want them to deliver a great product to you, and then you recommend it. And I want lots of people being happy with everything, the whole situation. But it's not the same with the cars. The cars are worse.
Yeah. I think it's because it has such an impact on the consumer, right? Like,
it's their livelihood.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is somebody's business. Like, if they get hooked up at Shop-Ware and it's an absolute disaster, like, I just jacked up their business, right? So it's a big deal that Shop-Ware be able to deliver on what it is that we need them to do. And
I think I've only fielded like a handful of complaints, and I've always been able to pinpoint like oh, this is a you problem, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying that happens. It doesn't happen. It's very rare. Mostly I get complained like, they're like, I don't know.
Where's the green button on the left?
Yeah, where's the green button? Or PartsTech doesn't have this vendor hooked up to it, and therefore I don't like it. I'm like, just order everything else through PartsTech. It'll be fine. It's free. What are you doing? Anyway, don't get me started on that. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think a little bit is the fact that, hey, PartsTech is like, it's great. I love it. I use the crap out of it. I order almost everything. I go out of my way to find the thing in PartsTech and order. I order oil through PartsTech if I can. Like the other websites, like it's easier if I type in the. No, I find the part number and I stick that sucker in PartsTech, and that's what because I want there to be uniformity in the way it transfers over into Shop-Ware and everything just wants to. So I do everything through PartsTech. But at the same time, like I didn't design it. And so you're like, hey, I love the crap out of this. It's like a nice restaurant. Like I love their food. Oh, I don't like the way they made my steak. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. You obviously don't know how to order steak. You're wrong. That's how I feel. Like you're wrong in not liking this.
Isn't that's an integrity thing though, right? You're putting your name on that recommendation.
Yes, but I'm saying though, if they don't like it, I think it's the them problem because it is. It's a them problem. If they are not happy with my repair, I cannot throw that back on the customer and go, you're just wrong. I don't know how to do that. In other words, everything that I like about the podcast and the way I can deal with the podcast and its challenges, not that there are that many, but I'm saying like the challenges we have with the podcast, I can't transfer that over, that feeling, that approach, that mentality.
The shop definitely feels much heavier than the podcast. The shop feels substantially heavier. And maybe it's because this isn't our only business. This isn't our only livelihood. If we were like Carm or something, I'm sure like we'd be way more stressed out about it. But
really, you think?
He seems stressed out about it.
Carm?
Yeah.
You think he's stressed out? I think he's just relaxing, doing his thing.
Maybe I misread.
I don't know. I don't think he's stressed out. You think he's stressed out?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
When are you guys going to start a podcast?
They have one.
We have one.
Oh, do you really?
We do.
I don't listen to your podcast. I'm sorry.
No, but you should. It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah. It's called the Limitless Leadership Podcast.
How long is it?
Half hour.
Is there food talk in it?
There can be.
Are there references to testicles?
Not lately. No.
Oh,
no.
but if it's a no, then what are we doing? Doesn't sound fun at all.
I don't know. I mean,
sounds like it's serious and heavy. And
no,
dense.
it's
got
not.
information.
It's leadership focused in the industry. It is what it is. So,
is it full of platitudes? You know, I got to the point now that I cannot listen to like business books. I want to come through listening to that audiobook. I want to come through and choke the living life out of that author. And what I really want to do, I don't want to physically attack him. What I want to do is I want to ingrain the nihilism that I feel. I want to give that to you. Let me give this nihilism to you. And let me share this gift.
Why does it bother you so much?
They're delusional. I'm sorry, they're delusional. Not you guys. But these people writing these books, you are nuts. Nuts. Tried to listen to this customer service book. I'll give you the name of it because it's trash. I tried. I got in like 6 hours into it. I mean, that's quite a bit of time to put into a book. Yeah. Just to find out. It's not that I found out. I was just trying to muscle through it. I really was trying to give it a chance. Never lose a customer again. Joey Coleman. I'm sorry, I have 6 hours left. That's what I meant. I just can't. The guy just, the customers love you. Blah, 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 blah.
Talking books and customer service, I love taking references outside of our industry and pouring them back in. Like Excellent Wins by Horace Schultz. He's the co-founder of Ritz-Carlton. Mm-hmm. And how that, now I can't afford to stay at Ritz-Carlton, but
that stay at the knockoffs. They have a few knockoffs. Yeah, you stay at the knockoffs.
That one ties really well, I think, to how we serve our people, right? Serve our guests, because we're both in the service industry at the end of the day. And there's another one, good one for you, David, is Will Guidero, and it is Unreasonable Hospitality. He was one of the best restaurateurs.
I think that one's been recommended to. I think that was Kim Walker. The Walkers, I don't want them to change. I don't want to share my nihilism with them because they get into the whole books thing and they're sharing back and forth and stuff like that. It's everybody else. They can say the way they are. Happy-go-lucky, sweet people. Everybody else, no. I gotta ingrain this as you are deluding yourself. Maybe I'm looking for a product that I can just, there you go. And they're happy to buy. That's why I was sitting mac and cheese truck. But ice cream's good.
So, tell you a quick story. Back in the day, I thought ice cream shop would have been the perfect, because you tell me one person that leaves an ice cream shop that's not
Upset,
smiling.
yeah.
Doesn't happen. But then, when I was up in Chicago, they raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And I was like, how are you going to be profitable in ice cream?
Yeah.
You call it artisan ice cream.
Oh.
That's what you do. And then you do like weird flavors.
Oh, that.
And then you're charging $17 for a little thing of ice cream.
Come on, let's do it.
Like it's artisan.
Is it where next to Table in Kansas City? Isn't Table the one that's on the corner where I stayed when I was in Kansas City last time?
Plate.
That was it.
Yeah.
There's a little ice cream shop right there. That place is insane.
Was $17 for a little cup of ice cream?
Like $24 for a little cup of ice cream.
Yeah.
It was good though.
You get into an affluent area and it's hot all the time. Like you wouldn't want to open one in Chicago. That'd be miserable.
Houston, where I'm at now.
Yeah, Houston would be a great place for an ice cream shop. But you want to even
He's gonna call his boss up and be like, "Yo, man, I think I'm out, dude. I think I'm
I'm going to ice cream." There's a custard joint in Kansas City. They make the best ice cream. Andy's frozen custard. It is so flipping good.
Really good.
And the best thing they have, I avoid it entirely because there's too many calories. I can't eat it. It's just I'd rather eat a steak. Right? They have one that they make out of Biscoff cookie.
Oh
butter.
Man,
you like Biscoff cookies?
100%. That's one of the.
That's the only reason I fly American.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, come on.
Okay, well, it is their cookie butter, which is. Have you seen the jars of their cookie butter? It's kind of like peanut butter, but it tastes like Biscoff cookies. Okay, so they make a hole in the middle of the custard, and they fill that entire section up with the cookie butter, and then they mix it with the crunchy bits of the Biscoff cookie. It is so good.
Hey,
It is insane. It is freaking delicious.
So let me tell you a funny story about that. We were in the Keys, and it was right around Christmas, and we're down there for something World Pack or something, Advanced Auto Parts. I can't remember what it was. And here we are, and we go to Dairy Queen, and they had this like sugar cookie blizzard. And I said, "Oh, I want one of those." So I got one. I was telling my wife, I said, it is so rare for them to like mix one of these thoroughly and like get the mix in whatever they put in it,
all
the way through it, and like get it all the way to the bottom. I was like, they did such a good job on this one. It is so good. And then when I got to the end of it, I realized like the whole bottom of the cup was literally frosting, and she just like went smooched it in and put ice cream on top of it. Gave it to me. I'm here sucking frosting through the straw. I was like, dude, I think I'm getting a headache from this. This is like the sweetest blizzard I've ever had. You know how hard it is to get frosting up a straw? I mean, it's pretty tough
If
stuff.
anybody's going to do it, it's you, big boy.
That's right.
If I had been smarter in a different life, I would have been the liquid death guys.
Oh,
right?
Charging like $7 for a can of water.
For a can of water, but it's all marketing. It's all like, hey, cool design cans, call it liquid death, and then
Makes a
run
lot
with
of
it. And
sense.
you're just selling flipping water, nothing else. It's just water. How do you get upset? Like, they see it on the shelf, they buy it, it's whatever.
Looks cool.
Done. It looks cool. You're walking around.
It goes into things that people want to do versus things that people don't want to do. And they will be far more comfortable paying for something that they want to do. Well, you go to a stadium and you look at a hot dog's $25, $26, and they just fork that money out. Yet they come to my shop and they're worried about the extra $10 for an air filter that's not made out of foam rubber and falls apart and gets sucked into the engine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. But they'll go buy a $24 hot dog and they'll buy all of this other stuff, that's substantially more. And, the family business has that dynamic as well because it's about having fun. And so people will go in there and spend substantial amounts of money. And as long as my brother doesn't contribute at all to an 80% payroll, it works out pretty well. But, Jesus Christ. I shouldn't have brought that up. Now I've got a headache.
But I think that goes to what? Instant gratification.
Yeah.
Like you can taste and see a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
And if it's from Chicago, it's probably really good.
I don't know about that.
Little biased.
I mean, maybe there was some good food in Chicago.
Chicago's got it. Before you guys voted in Beetlejuice and ruined the city, even when what's his nuts was running it, it was. I love Chicago. Yeah. I love Chicago.
That science museum is awesome.
The sites, the restaurants, the best restaurants are in Chicago. All the best restaurants are in Chicago. The best pizza. I'm sorry, New York. Pizza, crunchy, whatever. No. Fantastic pizza in Chicago. Best hot dogs, best Italian beef. Chicago's fantastic. I love Chicago.
Yeah.
The sports teams are garbage, but I love.
I'm a White Sox fan. It's been a
hot minute.
It's been a couple of years. It's tough.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to watch Bears games if you're Chicago.
But they just won.
I got a glimmer of hope. Come on.
They won. It's
been a while. I want to say Alex's grandfather is a huge fan. I think for the first time they've done decent.
We'll see.
I'm not heard ranting and raving.
Anyway, I just feel like you didn't fix us or me.
Yeah, he wants a refund.
Yeah. I'd be more than happy to provide a refund right there. So, I'll refund you the entire cost of this.
Hey, listen, I just need you to give him one piece of advice. Just stop wearing the 70s jogger shorts over here. It's really uncomfortable. It's a really bad situation for all involved.
Oh, they hike up. I don't know. They hike up.
Got some Daisy Dukes going on over there.
Luckily, there's nothing that's going to show, but I mean, still.
These are normal limbs.
I'm just saying, when they get up here and you're seeing the white tender thigh, it's bad.
Really, it's because I needed some sun on the. I needed some sun on them legs. They were getting a little pasty. And I was going to be in Florida. I'm like, I'm going to wear some shorts. I did bring one pair of pants. Just to help you out. I'm not going to wear them, but because it's hot as balls out there. It's terrible.
So what did we accomplish with this recording?
I had a couple good laughs.
Yeah, I got a couple good laughs too. Did you get a couple good laughs?
No. I feel like dead inside. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, you are dead inside, so I mean, I guess isn't that how you're maybe kind of supposed to feel?
I'm trying to spread it to everybody.
It's not working.
No.
It's not?
No. We can smell it though.
Oh.
So you're telling me I should have waited to tell all the nasty stories until right now?
I don't want to hear any nasty stories. Yeah.
Okay. Good.